pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is the approval of the May minutes. There's two sets of meeting minutes from the 9th and the 30th, and which I think that actually is the 31st.
No, I don't know, I thought we met on the 30th, maybe the 31st.
So we got two sets of meetings and then the claim docket for June. Everybody had a chance to review those?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we accept the June, May minutes and the June claim docket.
Okay, got a first motion?
I'll second.
Got a second motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And motion carries. Alright, first on old business, changes to utility manager's job description. Which I think, at this point, that's kind of a moot
Moot?
point at this point, so we were working on that since the beginning of the year, but we will scratch that from our agenda. It's not needed anymore. Next item on the agenda, resolution for CARES money, CARES Act money.
I don't know, can you do a resolution, Graham, for the CARES Act money?
I haven't
For next
done one
month?
for this meeting, but I could, I mean.
No, for next month, would that
next
be?
month.
We've looked and we're about 2,000 short of what we spent, so we gotta keep looking to see where that was spent, but we've found most of it. So I'll just get it to you whenever I find out how much it is. It's like 23,000, something like that.
Okay.
Or if you can tell me where to find something, I can write it up.
So what are you trying to accomplish with the resolution?
Well, this is something that FSG said we needed to take the CARES Act money that we spent on all this stuff and put it back into the appropriations that it came out of.
Okay.
So in 2020, when the CARES Act was implemented or passed, we made changes to the median review, and then there was a reimbursement
Right.
from.
And the new tables and,
Yeah, and so the reimbursement should have immediately gone back into whatever fund we took it out of.
Gotcha.
But we created a fund that said, here's that CARES Act that just came from the state, and then, but it's just sat there for 4 years. So it really is already been spent, we just have to move it back.
we just have
the
to put it
fund.
back where it came from. And there is, I think there was 13,000 in police pay, and I don't know if that's included in that or not. I'll have to look more through that and see.
Okay.
Yeah, I can help on that if you can give me the information on where,
Okay.
where it needs to go.
All right, any questions on that? New business, all right, I have Chief Russell up as top of the list.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Pete asked me to talk a little bit about the firehouse, but I thought what I would do is go over a few things that we've been doing, which you might want to know about. So, it's been a ridiculously busy last year, 18 months. We have, first of all, if you probably know this, but the medic is back in service. So we are now back to providing ALS service. We're up to the point now, that is not a light undertaking. It has been quite difficult to, if you don't know this, paramedics in Indiana, there's not enough of them. So there's plenty more jobs than there are paramedics, so it's hard to get paramedics and it's hard to keep them. So we have, since we decided to get the medic back in service, it's been a struggle, so we've had to hire several new people. And so at this point, most weeks, we have a shift or two that we do not have a paramedic, but the rest of the time we do. And it's very rare that we don't at least have a BLS ambulance in service. So, that is a drastic improvement from where we were 2 years ago, a drastic improvement. So we're pretty proud of that. We did, Assistant Chief McCamey, by the way, Deputy Chief Trevor Bolton's with me, this evening, if you don't know Trevor. Assistant Chief Alan McCamey, was able to acquire a grant for, education for medics. And so we have 3 paramedics, or 3 individuals in paramedic class. All 3 of those individuals went through an application process, within the department. They've been with us, all 3 of them have been with us a while. And I'm very confident in all 3 of them. So hopefully, maybe this time next year, we'll have 3 more paramedics, homegrown, so to speak. We've spent a ton of money, the trustee's office has spent a ton of money on new equipment, because we had a lot of things. As an example, our air packs were almost 20 years old. The usable life of those air packs is 15 years. So we were well past that. And that's an NFPA standard, and an OSHA standard, as it were. So we've got new SCBAs, we've got new extrication tools, new thermal imaging cameras. There's a whole litany of things that we've been able to do in the last year. And one thing I want to make sure everyone understands, virtually all that money has come from the county and the investment funds through the TIF and those type of funding sources, or through surplus funds that were in the township funds. So these are not new taxes. All this has been done through money that was already there and it just wasn't being used and wasn't properly accessed. So
Good deal.
We've been able to do that. We have a study going on right now with regard to the firehouses. We actually have our 4th meeting. The county is funding that. We have our 4th meeting with the consultants Thursday next week, so a week from today. We purchased, and this was through the county, we purchased an engine. We call it a new engine, but it's actually a 2013 truck. The chassis is used, but it's slightly used. If you want to go down to Hazelwood, you're welcome to come down there. It's down there right now. It will be in service in about a week or so here. But if I put you in it, you can't tell that it's not a brand new truck. RPI built the bed of it. So essentially what it is it's a used chassis with a brand new bed on it, but the chassis is so lightly used, you can't tell. For informational purposes, if you order a brand new fire engine right now, you have a custom fire engine built for you. It's taking you anywhere from 24 months to 4 years to get it. So we were able to do this in a matter of 6 months. So we were able to do that. We just put it in service yesterday, our new support truck. So you will see we bought it used. It's a 2019 Ford 4-door, 3/4 ton pickup truck. So you will see that running around town if you haven't already. That's to replace that poor old Tahoe that old silver Tahoe that you saw. So it's replacing that. We took our 2013 ambulance, which is the one before the Ford ambulance we have now. It replaced the 2013 ambulance. We were gonna liquidate it, and about a year ago, we decided we need a backup ambulance. So, again, funded through county funds and other funds. That ambulance has been refurbished. It is back down at Hazelwood. We have not got it in service yet. We're gonna get it certified ALS, so we will have a backup ambulance, which is very important when you're running a 24-hour service to have a backup ambulance. So we're gonna get that done. We'll get that going. We've already ordered, and this is, again, county money that's already been appropriated. We've ordered another new ambulance that will come in 2026 is when we're expecting that to be delivered. So the eventual goal will be, by this time in 2027, that we will have 2 medic trucks in service during the day. So we run in kind of a tax shift. The issue will be the manpower to do it, but so we'll have 2 ambulances and a vacuum by then. We applied for the AFG grant. So FEMA has been funding this grant program. Has been around since about 2002. It goes by various names, but the actual name is Assistance to Firefighters Grant. A lot of that equipment, I referenced the was equipment that we purchased with grants that we got through that AFG program back in the early 2000s, when I was here before. So we put in another AFG grant for this year. It's just for some equipment and stuff for these engines, the things we need to replace. We also put in for another SAFER grant, and what that is that, and we discussed this back a couple years ago, the SAFER grant is for personnel. So we toned it down a little bit from that grant that we submit, or that application we submitted a couple years ago. This time we went for, that would be 9 full-time employees, so that would be 3 per shift. So that's roughly $3 million over 3 years that we would receive to help fund that. You know, the plan is with staffing, oh, by the way, so, the current fire engine that you see sitting at the firehouse, right now, again, instead of buying another new one, that fire engine will be, once we switch over to the one we just previously discussing, that one is gonna go to RPI, and it's gonna be completely going through, new paint, go through the pump, rework the valves, all the things that need to be done to it. And so it'll come back, about 9 to 10 months, it'll come back looking like new. So then we will have 2 fire engines, good ones, and 1 backup. So that's what's going on there. With regard to staffing, right now we are staffing, virtually every moment we have 2 people on station. That's they're little firefighter EMTs, so we're basic life support. About half the time to sometimes 60% of the time, we will have 3 people on station. Right now we have 3 today. So part of that's you know, having the employees to fill the shifts, and part of that is funding. But the goal is for next year is to get to 4 and have that 24/7. If we get the SAFER grant, that will change everything. We might be able to get to 5 pretty quickly. But again, as we talked 2 years ago, the need is the basic need, and this is just the basic need, is 6 all the time. That's what we need. And that's not gonna get better. We actually need to run any more than that. There's 100 things to cover. I'm gonna stop there. With regards to the firehouse, if you haven't been in there, that building wasn't designed to do what it's doing. And so, the alterations that have been made to that to try to fit our needs have all been donated materials and donated time. So it was not done the right way. It was done basically with what we could afford to do with what we had. And so we are to the point that, particularly that upstairs and the money that we're asking for, the specific area up there is what we call the locker room or shower room, and the living quarters up there. That was done 20 years ago. And it was done with cheap residential material. So that doesn't work if you put 3 people in there 24 hours a day. It sure as heck ain't gonna work. It doesn't work with 3, it's not gonna work with 4 or 5 or 6. So, and the immediate need is to update that to something that at least somewhat meets our needs. Long term, I know this is a question. I have heard rumors, and rumors have been thrown around. There's no intention of leaving Clayton. We cover the whole township, and Clayton is a big part of the township. We cover the school system. We cover all of the school system buildings with the exception of the AMO building. So the long-term vision is go back to 3 or 4 firehouses. It just depends on where we end up here in the next few years, but we're working on the 3rd firehouse. What we would like to see long-term here is a new facility somewhere around town that is a much better location with some more room to do things, because that situation there, that location just doesn't work. We can get into specifics if you want, but.
So that location is just, can't be revamped or anything? I mean,
There's just not enough room there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, between the lot itself.
Yeah.
The topography there in the back, that causes issues.
Yeah, okay.
Generally, I wouldn't say that the building needs to be doubled, but it needs to be you know, the footprint of the building needs to at least be 50% more than it is. And then we need a proper parking area and room to spread out. and do
So it's
things.
almost like an orientation kind of setup associating with the room for not just the fire trucks and the personnel inside, it's parking and other
Yeah,
things
yeah.
for everyone
I mean,
that's
just
on
as an
duty.
example, we can't have, I mean, we have the same parking issue you have here. You
Yeah.
know, we can't have a meeting or training or anything, and then you put big fire trucks in there. You know, if we can't have, you know, there's just no room. And that building wasn't designed for the vehicles that we put in it. So yeah, long term, that is not the answer to stay there and completely renovate that building, in my opinion. We would like a different facility somewhere. We'd like it to be around town, particularly it would be nice if it was just east on 39 or just west here, maybe on 500. Would be a good location with regard to the schools. And we know you plan to grow. So yeah, long term, we want a facility here. But in the interim, we know we don't have millions of dollars right now to do anything here in town yet, but in the meantime, we've got to operate.
Right.
So,
Okay. I had one question about the paramedic shortage. Is that just due to competing with other areas
it's not
paying better?
No, it's not one thing. This has been going on for 20 years.
Okay.
This is something, my whole career as a fire chief, you know, we've tried, whether it was here or east of here, or when I was here before, it's been the same problem. There are multiple things that contribute to that. One is the requirements to be a paramedic. You know, pay has been an issue. And then now, the market is so much different now, with regard to firefighters. You know, 25 years ago, you would have 150, 200 applicants for a firefighter position, and now, you lucky if you get 20,
Yeah.
and you're lucky if they stay because there's so many jobs available. I mean, you know, if you just start naming communities here and east that used to be volunteer fire departments that are now career fire departments, you know, it's a long list. So there's just so many more jobs. Yeah, anybody, my advice to anybody that has any interest in the medical field, go become a paramedic because you can do pretty much whatever you want.
Write your own checks.
Any other questions for Chief Russell?
No? Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, next item on the agenda is the TREX program. We talked about this a little bit last year, maybe a year and a half. I don't remember how long ago that was, but this is a program through the Indiana Association of Counties, and basically the state of Indiana has given approval to, if a person has a debt to a town, for whatever reason, and then they are due a tax return, that the town can garnish that tax return to pay that debt. For here in Clayton, my idea surrounds our sewer bills. We have several outstanding liens on properties due to sewer bills, and just kind of a random search of our properties in town. It's well over $12,000 in sewer liens that we have at the county office. And so my idea was to look into the TREX program and to switch, instead of doing a sewer lien, submit the customer to the TREX program. Now, there are positives and negatives to this. Obviously, you put a lien on a property, it's, you know, there until their tax bill comes up. And then usually, most of the time, the lien gets paid when they pay their tax bill. there is an option that customers have, property owners have, that they can say, no, don't pay that lien. So, and we actually have a couple examples here in town where they have, you know, gone through the channels that they need to go through to not allow that tax bill for their property to pay that sewer bill. So that's the one downside to the lien process. You can't submit them to both, you can't do a lien and do the Trex, you have to do one or the other. So if we did the Trex, then the risk is, what if they don't, what if they aren't deserving a tax return? So they owe instead of get paid, then we're not gonna get anything out of that either. So it's, none of these are guaranteed, it's just that there are a lot of outstanding liens, in town, so that was just a thought, is do we wanna pursue, switching over to Trex instead of doing liens?
If you have a lien on somebody's, property, how do you have to forfeit that lien or something so that you can go to the Trex, or is it, how do you?
Not according to the administrator of this program. She said if, once you've, submitted their bill to, the county for a lien, which is the recorder's office that does liens, is that right?
Yes,
So then they can't be also submitted to trucks. They won't allow you
So
that
once it's a
double
lien,
dip.
it's a lien
Right.
forever, we
Yeah.
can't rescind that,
Correct.
okay.
And then they either pay it with their taxes or they pay it when they sell the house. I mean, if you were to put up your house for sale, first thing the title company will do is go, oh, you have a lien on your house, you have to get that taken care of before we can move forward with the sale. So at that point, they don't have a choice on paying it or not. Just at the month of May, when your, you know, first tax is due of the year, they do have that choice of saying, I don't wanna cover the lien with this year's, tax payment.
But now, can we say there's a person that has a lien, a year from now, they owe another batch of sewer bills, can we Trex them for that?
For that amount, yes. It just can't be for, you can't double dip on the whole amount, you would have to pick and choose. And it's, neither one of these are guarantees, neither the lien nor the Trex is, you know, 100% on getting money. It's just,
Well, what about on the track, say, you use that on somebody, but it don't cover the amount of it that's owed?
or what if they don't get any money back on their taxes?
right.
Right, that's
You don't
the-
get paid.
That's the
Good.
downside.
Right. It just- Well, I mean, it would roll over to the next year, it would stay in the Trex until it gets paid, but you've, I mean, obviously,
And how's it set up to get into Trex? We
so, yeah,
go
you,
from lien to Trex.
so your office would register with the Indiana Association of Counties, you would get, you know, login information, that kind of stuff, and then you would just submit, you know, a customer to, this program, and then you could, pick and choose an option. You could either send your, like, now you send a pre-lien letter to the customer saying, you're behind on your sewer bill, we're gonna put a lien if you don't get this caught up, and then if they don't get it caught up, you send them another letter saying, you've got a lien. With Trex, they would also get a letter, and it could be from you, or it could be from the program letter writer, whoever that is. They could send just a generic, your name has been submitted for a bill that you owe to the town of Clayton for this amount, and then, if you're owed a return from the state of Indiana, and it doesn't affect federal returns, just state of Indiana returns. If you're owed a state of Indiana return, it will be garnished and paid, you know, until the amount is rectified with the town.
I think I'd stick with the lien. Most people gotta pay the state every year. I don't know many people get money back from the state.
Are there
If it is,
fees
it's just a few
associated?
dollars.
Fees
With the
per-
lien, there's a lien fee of $25, correct?
50, 20,
50?
25 to,
$50 to submit a lien.
25 to file it and 25 to release it.
With the trucks, there's not a fee to submit their name to it.
I think there needs to be a little bit more information on this myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm the same with John. I don't know very many people to get very much money back from
The state.
the state, and every time I file a lien, if it's only 3 months, they owe $301. You're not gonna get that much back.
This first year, I ain't got back from the state, I got $7.
See, you could have
First
not
time
paid your
ever.
bill.
Big money.
Big money.
Yeah.
He's gonna take us all out to eat.
Yeah.
And this, is this, because maybe I didn't hear this correctly, is this an instance by instance, you can make a decision on this, or it has to be all or one or the other? In other words, we switch over from being liens to Trex, or you can't just say, okay, well, this customer, we're gonna go after for Trex, this customer, we're gonna go after with a lien.
Yeah, according to this lady's email to me, when I asked her about she said that if you submitted an amount for a lien, that cannot be submitted to Trex. But anything else that a new bill
Mhm.
has, piled up, that
Mhm.
can be submitted to Trex as long as that isn't also submitted for a lien.
Okay, so it sounds
you
like you can
can't-
do either one.
Right, you can't kind of play the, we're gonna just spread seeds on all the grounds and see which one collects, or the net, however you wanna reference that. You have to pick and choose a silo.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
it's a matter of, okay, if I think I'm gonna get money out of, them because they're getting a tax return, great, I submit it to Trex. If I don't, then I submit it to a lien, and then I still have that, maybe they're gonna pay it, maybe they won't. Obviously, if they ever end up selling a property, they have to catch the liens up at that point in time.
Mhm.
But there is a way that you can, even when you're paying your taxes, the assessor's office will say, oh, you also have this lien, do you wanna pay it? And they can opt out of paying the lien when it's time to pay taxes.
But we put the lien on, you own this piece of property,
Mhm.
I'm renting it. The lien's going against you.
Yes.
Now me, living in the house, I'm gonna file, get back from the state, why would I pay it? Because basically, if I don't pay it, the homeowner is responsible for
And
it.
it's been our policy since I've been here, is that we always make sure the property owner is the one responsible for the bill, not
Right.
a rentee.
Right.
So we don't go after, the rentees in that property.
I think maybe we should talk about it a little bit more, but right now I'm more inclined to stick with the lien side of things, as it has more of an impact, and eventually the town will get some funds back somehow.
All right, we will, I can send, everybody an email link with, their website. They have a website. She has a little YouTube video that she talks about, personal words and stuff, All right, next item on the agenda, additional appropriation for FDLT for 2024. So I know we passed an ordinance that allows for next year, the county will collect property taxes to pay to the township to cover fire and EMS and the cumulative capital fund that they have. But for this year, we still need to find a way to pay for the fire and EMS services that we're getting in the town of Clayton.
What's that amount?
29,000.
30,000.
There's 29,000 and change, so.
Where would you get that from, Jim?
Well,
I'm glad I asked.
that's my question.
$29,298.04. That would basically equate to the same amount as if we were paying the same taxes as everybody in the township towards fire EMS and the cumulative capital fund.
And that would be good for July 1 to end of the year, or?
Right.
Okay.
So that would be for the calendar year of 2024. that we're in.
The entire calendar year.
Right.
Okay, so Jan 1 to December 31st. All right.
And we'd have to follow the steps of making this an additional appropriation, so just a matter of when the clerk treasurer's office can find where we can pull this money from this year's budget and then have a public hearing.
I guess we just have to
Okay.
take it out of the general fund.
So do you need a motion to do this, or we're just gonna move this to?
Yeah, I think the motion would need to be once we found where we're drawing all this
Okay.
money from and we've had the notice of the public hearing and
Okay.
to do that.
Okay,
so,
I didn't know if you needed a motion to get all that started, so
no.
guess we're doing that.
All right, any other questions on that? Next item on, go ahead, sir.
No,
Oh, clear. I got you, all right. Next item on the agenda, eminent domain, for 245 and 209 Crawford Street. 245 may, be a moot point. I was told by the county assessor that, they have until June 26th to pay their taxes. If they don't, it's going up for sheriff's sale.
Tax
So,
sale, tax sale, not
Yeah.
sheriff's sale.
oh, is there a difference? I thought- So it's not the sheriff's department that does tax sales also?
Well, yeah, they will, but it technically it's
Called
tax
tax sale.
sale, not.
Yeah, they owe $3,000 in back taxes, and,
Foreclosure.
so the county wants to collect those taxes, so they're going to, put it up for tax sale after the 26th.
It's certified, she told me last week it would be certified this week, but I haven't called back. And you're talking about eminent domain on 245, and I was just wondering from Graham, what would be more cost effective, the tax sale, or the tax sale, yes, or eminent domain?
Well, yeah, I mean, if the county's gonna take care of it, I think that'd be helpful.
Yeah, we wouldn't have to pay anything for that. It would just be open market, however those sales work. I mean, who
Right.
goes to those can just bid on
I
it,
have a
buy it,
question.
and then they can be responsible for.
I thought we were
I mean,
told that
that building is
Okay,
about
so
a
if we
collapse
paid
in
the same
it.
amount as everybody in the township.
Or
to the
unless
fire
we
department,
wanna
it was
buy
only
that
like
property
Well,
ourselves
what
for
would
the
you,
town.
that's what I was thinking.
It was within the,
But what would you do with that?
trustee pass.
I mean, we'd have to tear the
Another-
building down, cause there's no saving that. We
Ordinance or
ordered it up a
something.
couple years ago, and
Like the one that we passed last month.
Yeah, basically.
bad shape, but,
he passed something
it, I mean, it would just be then an empty lot
Something very similar.
out there.
So,
Now, the other address on here is right next door to
we
it.
didn't know about.
I have.
Oh, okay.
So
So it's that-
they're actually
It's that
paying more
corner,
attention.
and so, I mean, if the town owned that corner, what could we do with it, kind of thing. So, we don't have a park on the east side of town, could we make that a park? Could we just turn around and sell it to somebody after we've taken
Habitat
care
for
of?
Humanity.
Right, so Habitats for Humanity could certainly build on it. So those are just options with those. Like I said, it's just been a lot of issues. I mean, we've had people calling and reporting, people who've broken into that abandoned house and are, you know, smoking pot and doing other things in there, and we've had to board it up, and we've had to try and maintain the weeds and the grass ourselves, and because it's at that intersection, so it's difficult to see. There's somebody coming the other direction where you're trying to, move around there, so it's just something to think about on, you know, trying to figure out with some of these abandoned properties, how do we deal with this and clean up, some of these places.
Whoever, it's probably gonna be the lender that buys it. Is there a loan, was there a loan on it, do you remember?
On the 245?
Yes.
No, there's not.
Okay, so.
Anybody else have any questions, thoughts, comments on that? I know Pete's been up there and mowed the grass, or Jerry has around that corner trying to help with, you know, visibility for traffic, and, of course, you know, we had to put the boards up and bolt them to the frame and that kind of stuff when we did that, and so that, I mean, we put a lot of, you know, safety measures in place to try and help keep these properties from causing more problems. All right, well, we'll table that, move on to the next, item, transfer of funds. Jenny?
I've got a transfer of funds in the general fund for the workman's comp, policy. I think there was $3,000 in the workman's comp policy, workman comp appropriation. No, 4,000, when we had used some of it, so we need, $1,232 in order to pay the workman's comp.
All right, any questions?
And we don't have the breakdown on the insurance yet for the sewer plant, the park, and the town portion.
Okay.
I wanna make a motion that we transfer $1,330 from the fund.
All right, got a first motion?
I'll second that.
Got a second? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, Pete, looks like you're up. Okay.
Very close, you know,
Yeah.
$60 difference.
Yeah.
Now, that's from Iowa on Michigan to Pennsylvania. That short stretch right there.
Okay,
That's what these two bids are for.
okay.
I had to handwrite this one in because we put Michigan with Pennsylvania, so I handwrote in from Iowa Street. We first, Iowa personally on that one.
Did you find out whether,
Well, see, that's why I had them do this.
Right.
So I can compare the two bids, because there's two different ways they figured it.
uh-huh,
Now, this is from where to where?
From the corner right here
Down to
over
Pennsylvania.
to Pennsylvania. So on
On
Michigan,
Michigan Street,
Right here.
yeah.
To
from
there.
Iowa to
from Iowa to
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Why does it say 20 blocks?
The hot crack fill.
The
It says
20
20
blocks
blocks
of
of hot crack fill. Is
That's
that,
his-
that's the
that's his-
amount of the blocks?
Yeah, the material.
Okay, I was gonna say, it's not 20
That's
blocks
his
from Iowa to
material.
Pennsylvania.
we have 20 blocks?
That's the tar.
I've
that
lived
he
here a
uses.
day or
Yeah,
two.
It comes in a block.
Yeah,
Okay.
He did by product,
Yeah.
and Orr went by
By linear
linear feet.
Okay.
And all you're doing is sealing cracks.
You know,
Yes.
Jeez. We're in the wrong business.
And that's like, that part of Michigan was repaved in 2018. So it's just really disheartening that it's already to the point of needing this much crack sealing.
Mhm.
Yeah, it already, it looks more like tar instead of hay.
Right.
So the bore paving one would, at 24 linear feet, that means anything running lateral down the street and then perpendicular as well.
Yeah, and believe it or not, he never got out of the truck.
Oh,
He drove the street.
drive by. Okay.
Well, we have $1,629 in bituminous.
None of these cracks are straight. I mean, so he's talking, you know, wherever the crack goes, he's measuring, you know, every
Yeah.
foot. So,
Yeah, and I understand that now, but when we first started talking, we didn't know whether linear feet meant the linear length of the road or if it meant the linear length of the crack plus any kind of lateral crack that was coming off of
he's
it,
talking
so,
about the crack because that's how much
yeah,
of his product he's using.
Right.
Fill that in, prevent water from getting inside the asphalt and down underneath it. Any questions, more questions for Pete?
We only got, what, $60 difference between the two.
the completion of the work says it's pending on weather, and being able to perform it on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Yes.
Does that mean a Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the very near future?
That's the only time he does this kind of work.
Right, but does that mean in the very near future, or does that mean sometime later, like in October?
Now, in the near future,
Oh, okay.
whenever you guys make a decision,
Okay,
yeah, he's already explained that on the weekends. And he said if there's any product left, he put it elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Some overreach.
According to the class that Pete and I went to, the Purdue experts on this, this extends the life of the road by about 2 to 4 years. So it's-
A little bit of background. This gentleman here on the 1,500 hours does weekends. He rents the equipment when we need it.
uh-huh,
Bob has the equipment.
mhm.
Well, my next question, we've got the money in the fund there.
We have $1,600 in bituminous now.
Yeah.
We can't buy any salt or sand if we get any ice this winter if we use that. So if you can do something about that,
This couldn't come out of motor vehicle highway
we
or
could
streets
probably,
and sidewalks?
we could probably take it out of, well, I don't, we could take it out of paving, I guess, if you wanna consider it paving. Paving and resurfacing,
Pretty much is, kind of in a way.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Alright.
Is Mr. Alfred gonna do the same, size of crack, 1/4 inch to, or larger? Is he,
I physically walked with him.
uh-huh,
Yeah, him and I walked.
okay, okay.
And I rode with Bob.
Yeah.
I couldn't, he's done it so long, I guess. I don't know if he
Right.
didn't get out of the truck.
After they're done, if we see areas that, like maybe there was an oversight, he missed an area, they're gonna come back and fill that, or is that,
That's a question I'd have to ask him.
I mean, I'm supposed, he's listed 2,400 linear feet, so once he hits that, he's done. He's not gonna come back. Whereas the other guy, if we have blocks left over, he's gonna,
I'm not sure he's physically gonna get out.
Bob's not.
Let the feet say, okay, we're there.
Yeah.
He paved my driveway and yeah, he got out of the truck and he yelled at some of the guys and then he got back in his truck and left. And then he came back when it was done.
Yeah,
So-
that's basically all he does. I mean,
Yeah,
he went
yeah.
in-
Well, he's a very nice guy.
Oh.
Not to them, but he's a very nice guy.
He's the owner of the company. so
Yeah.
Alright, well, does anybody wanna make a motion? Or do you wanna table this for another day?
Well, we need to get it done when it's hot, so, right?
Yeah.
So Sunday. It's 90.
So
Saturday.
Well, see, you picked the hottest day. for-
Yeah, we did. We managed to hit the hottest day of the year for town cleanup day again.
Alright, well, if somebody wants to make a motion,
I'll make a motion, we accept Mr. Orr's bid. Cause he'll get it, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think?
alright, so you made a motion to accept
I made a
Mr. Ward's
motion,
bid.
yep.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Alright, I got a second motion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Contact Mr. Ward. There you go. Lights.
These are for the decorations.
Oh, yeah.
The plug-ins. for
That we
the
don't have.
Christmas.
That we don't
Yeah.
have,
Well, it's getting back to me now.
Baby steps, baby steps.
I guess. That's what we get for giving everything away.
Alright, so if I'm reading this right, there's not an actual fee that we pay, they just increase our monthly rate.
45.92.
Okay.
I read the same one.
And they're just doing 8,
Yes.
just 8.
Yeah,
Up and down 39?
yes.
Okay,
Town Business District.
okay. Tell me.
Alright, any questions, comments, thoughts?
Is there any maintenance associated with those? They'll take care of all that.
Well, I guess we better talk in the budget next
I was gonna
time
mention
about
that too,
putting
Yeah.
Add that in.
money in the budget for
Christmas tree.
decorations, because we don't have any. But we only need 8.
Yeah.
So would the receptacle be up by where you have the ornaments?
Yeah,
Okay.
be up in the air.
So is this kind of backwards? Shouldn't we be getting the decorations before we get the
Well, I
electrical
think
for the decorations?
the reason we went ahead prices when they was doing all the LEDs and the add-ons what they had put out there. The extra.
I don't see paying $45 extra a month if we can't get, decorations for 2 or 3 years, you know?
How much are these decorations gonna cost?
Oh, they're
They're
about,
expensive.
they're,
They're not cheap.
no, they're $300, $400, $500 a piece.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
John,
And it's,
you wanna donate?
Let's be there.
Sell that
Next
kid.
time you're talking with
Fabricate
your,
some?
town manager's buddies from Plainfield and Avon, and just see, ask them how many they're giving away from last year's supply.
Well,
Yeah,
that's an idea.
yeah,
I
or
mean, we
selling,
gave some to
sell them
Amo,
for
So
cheap.
it's just,
Yeah. Because
Can-
this
Turnabout's
45
fair
would be every-
play.
pay it forward.
Can we,
That's right.
how long is this good for, this
Well,
quote?
I would have to call Steve.
Can we find out how long it's good for,
Yeah.
and then can we look into, can we expedite a little bit of the lighting, discussion? An ornament, whatever you're calling them, ornaments,
Christmas.
Christmas ornaments, whatever, so we can have possibly something in place for this Christmas? I mean, I hate to go in like another year and then
Maybe we
pick this
do an
up again.
additional appropriation for 8 ornaments, 8 Christmas trees, so that they're here for
Mhm.
Christmas in Clayton.
There you go.
Okay, we'll look into that.
Okay.
I mean, we've got a lot of momentum going with that, so I think we should keep
Yeah.
going with it.
All right, next, Pete? Yeah.
Next,
Okay. Did a little shop for the day.
Shot.
Yeah, for the, maintenance guy.
Oh, okay.
Little man. But the smallest vest they had was a medium, and he'd probably sleep in that, so. We went back and looked for small, they didn't have any, so they had this one that says fit all, so it's only $6, so okay, we'll give it a try. If that don't work, we'll get a set of barbells, so bulked up. And he put it on today, and he's tickled. Now all we gotta do is get him a badge.
Okay.
and a bullet.
Oh, man, that's good. All right. Very good. What else you got?
Now, do you wanna bring up, parking lot bids?
If you're ready to talk about it,
Yeah.
then go ahead.
Okay, we'll start out with Tony's, if you don't mind, that's what on top. The first bid is just for the original grading and the gravel and, you know, rolling it out and all that. So then we come up with how are we gonna drain the water back towards 39? So it's gonna have to be built up on the east end. So the second page is what it would cost to do that, with the total below that. And, he's got a drawing on what he was gonna do. And we have, J.R. Reynolds, basically the same thing, he's got 3 pages.
Okay, I have a question. Page 1 is just to flatten it out and gravel it
Yes,
for 23.4.
yes.
Page 2
Now,
is,
if you see the highlighted yellow there where it says 1900 on the front page?
yes,
That's if they were gonna put bathrooms in, that's to put the pipe and everything, so you don't have to dig the whole thing back up again after it's compact.
okay. Then page 2 is the same thing, but paving
Well,
it.
it's not paving, on the east end, there's such a slope.
Okay, yeah.
It's
never
more,
mind.
it's more to get it level than what they're just gonna do for page 1.
Okay,
Page 1, there would be a slope,
okay.
yep.
Well, my thinking on the lot over there, just my opinion, I think it ought to just be all gravel and park on it. I don't think you need, facilities for restrooms over there or anything. But, because the businesses here in town, if you're visiting the businesses, have got restrooms. And they seem to be, people seem to be using it now fairly well.
Well, this step right now is
Yes.
not, doesn't have anything to do with that yet.
Yeah.
This step here is, do we want to have it just stay graded where it's downhill towards the east and just put in the paving stone and flatten it out? Or do we want it built up on the east side with a retaining wall, make that slope come back towards the west, towards 39, so the water runs into the storm drain right here on 39?
I thought we discussed in previous meetings that we really can't do page one because it then affects the water flow of the surrounding residents to them.
Well, if you pave it, it would. If you leave it gravel, it's a natural.
It's a natural drain, so it doesn't have to worry about it going
It
somewhere.
runs that way now.
Right, the water will
Okay.
not,
Okay, I
the
see.
water will have places to go into the
People to
soil
see.
'Cause, yeah, it's-
throughout the entire square footage of that
Yeah.
space. If you pave it, now the water has no place to go other than
Right.
down here.
Okay.
So, my suggestion would be, since there's no way we can come up with $60,000 to get this done. My suggestion is that we leave it gravel, and we take the, I jotted that down somewhere, the 24,580 that we still have in that account.
In that account.
And transfer that over, and that gives us close to 25,000 for the fire department that we need to come up with. We have to have 29,000 for the fire department?
But the 24,580 is in the local road and street
They
appropriation.
can't transfer.
You can, but then you gotta pay it back next year. You gotta pay it back within a year's time, or by the next year.
Good idea. Not gonna work.
Alright, so does anybody wanna move forward with just getting the gravel part taken care of, where that lot would be leveled, gravel compacted down so that it's,
I have one more question.
okay,
So, does the second part, second estimate, is that based on doing the work as the first part of the estimate is done? Or could it be done in stages?
It could be done in stages. If you want, yeah, you could do this part first,
Uh-huh.
because what he's doing is he's backfilling with gravel.
Okay.
Building it up.
So it's not a requirement then to,
No, it's not
all right.
to continue, no.
All right. Well, I'll make a motion, we start with all the work on the first page from Tony Moraine.
okay, got a first motion?
I'll second that one.
Got a second motion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next,
You're gonna have to enlighten me on this.
what?
You will have to enlighten me on this.
Oh, toss it out, we don't need it.
Okay.
Throw it away.
All right.
Yay. Love that kind of stuff.
Okay, like I said before, the only thing I've got left is, going to do the walkthrough with Midwest Paving in the morning. Got that taken care of. Surveying's done at Penner's, we're waiting on the appraiser,
Okay.
and basically that's it. Something still.
Does anybody have any, questions for Pete? Okay, thank you. All right,
I do not either.
Other-
All right, we'll skip over to, Mr. Messinger. Welcome.
Thank you. Here, I want to give all of you some business cards, just so you can contact me in an emergency. There's ever a line clog in the town, residents needing something resolved, give me a call.
Thanks.
Day or night, I can get out here, take care of it.
What will be the indication to us that a line is clogged?
Somebody's toilets aren't going down the drain.
All right.
So we're reporting on, this month's report is gonna be from May, so this would still be for George's, testing, everything he did, but I'll be submitting the report, so I have all of his information. He was kind enough to leave everything there for me, so. I know, did you guys all get a copy of this? This is our monthly report that we send you guys, no? Okay. I'll make sure I get one for you guys next time, I apologize. Basically, I just go through this and tell you what has happened, and next month, you guys will be able to see it for yourself. If there's any violations, it'll be in red to let us know, hey, we had a violation that month. Obviously, this month, everything was good, we had no violations. You guys had 5 million gallons go through the plant, average daily flow of 168,000 gallons, 4.7 inches of rain, we were 56% capacity at the plant. Our removals were all good, 97, 98%. We wasted 47,988 gallons this month. And all our limits, we were within all the effective limits, no violations, nothing bad to report, everything's going smooth. The changeovers went really good, we haven't had any issues. I did want to talk about the gas chemical you guys are using. Currently, you're using chlorine gas and sulfur dioxide gas. I don't know if you guys are aware of this or there's much knowledge about it, but that is a very hazardous situation you got out there, and it's an aging system as well. I talked to my chemical engineer, and she said that they do provide, there is like a liquid chemical you could use, which is much safer. I was hoping it would be more cost effective, but she said actually it's not more cost effective. It would probably be about the same cost, maybe a little bit more. She said, but you could contact your insurance company and they could reduce your insurance, the town's insurance costs, by switching these chemicals over. Because as a gas, if you have a leak with a gas, you're gonna have somebody go to the hospital versus a leak with bleach or just solution, you just clean it up, there's no danger involved. And I was also gonna ask if the fire department knows of what you guys have out there, 'cause there's like 4 150-pound cylinders. If they're aware of like if a gas leak was to happen or a situation was to occur.
Have to ask them,
Yeah, I was hoping they'd still be here, because that's something they really need to probably be aware of. Also, you do not have a SCBA, a self-contained breathing apparatus, which I know I heard them talking about them too. There's not one on site, so if we had a gas leak, there's nothing we can do, we just gotta.
You have to wait for the fire.
Yeah, we gotta vent it out and just hope for the best, pretty much.
What's the cost of a CBA?
I don't know off the top of my head, they're not cheap. I did purchase a little, it's not much, but it's just a filter mask for changing the cylinders out, so I won't get a shot of chemical in the face. But my concern is just the health parts of it. I know a lot of towns, when I worked for the town of Plainfield, we had 1-ton cylinders. I mean, these things were huge. We had to move them with overhead crane and everything. I had several guys go to the hospital, because they got chlorine in their face and lungs. They have switched to liquid bleach and stuff. A lot of Indianapolis has as well, just because of the safety aspect of it more than anything. So that's something I wanted to give you guys a heads up on. I'm gonna be getting her like the last year's worth of usage, how much chemical you guys are using. She's gonna crunch numbers for us and see if there's any savings. I know the company you're currently using is one of the most expensive ones. I switched Monrovia out from that company because they were so expensive for chemicals, and switched to a local company in Mooresville, Canby area that's a lot more reasonably priced. So that's one thing I'm working on. Also, timers on your blowers. There was timers on your older blowers, but someone has unwired them. They're, like I checked them out, they're not wired in anymore. So at one point, you guys were shutting blowers off with timers to save electrical costs. I'm not sure why it was ever, anybody knows why it would have been, you know, discontinued or not used anymore, but it's something I wanna look at, because, you know, electrical costs is probably one of your biggest bills for running that utility. And typically, that's, a lot of plants go to VFDs for that reason, so I can adjust the blowers to where it just puts out what I need, it's not running nonstop 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, costing me a fortune. So I wanna look into that as well, these are just some of the projects we're working on. So I would need to get with the clerk treasurer and get like your yearly cost of what you pay for the electrical.
Okay,
And is that separate, because I know like we get our electrical readings every day, just so we know how much usage is being done. You guys are using like 600 kilowatt hours a day out there. I'm assuming that's because Pinner and a septic is also on the same line. Does anybody know if there's a separate line for them versus the town, or?
Should be separate, because Penner's private, I mean, that's a private property, I don't know why we would be paying their electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I looked at our meter, it's a Duke meter, and we're getting like 600 kilowatts a day. I mean, that's a lot. It's a lot of power usage, so I don't know what you guys are paying for electric bills.
It's all in the wastewater treatment.
Huh?
That's all I know. Wastewater treatment, right?
I mean, how does this play out down there, where's the electricity go? Just see,
this month's bill was 1951.96.
19,000?
Yeah, 1900.
1,900, oh.
$151
Alright, that's a
Yeah.
lot better than 19,000.
Yeah.
So that's not crazy price.
But it did go up a whole lot when we got the generator. I don't know whether the generator has anything to do with it. The electricity, I can remember when it used to be like $600 or $700 a month, and then all of a sudden it just keeps going higher and
I believe
higher.
the generator like, is it once a month or once every 2
It's
weeks?
supposed to self-test.
It does,
Kicks on.
yeah, I was out there when it did it, but that, I mean, at that point, you should be running on generator power
Right.
though, so it
Yeah.
should save you some electrical costs,
Yeah.
not cost you more. Hmm. Maybe that's what the timers were shut off.
Maybe.
I don't know. That's something I wanna look into too, and then we share a dumpster, I guess, or Pinner pays for a dumpster, and we dump our screens into
Yeah.
it. Not right away, but at some point, you might wanna think of the town having a dumpster on site for them, just in case something's ever happened. You know, he's mentioned retiring at some point, and I don't know how long we'll be able to use that dumpster, more or less, is what I'm getting at, so. Something to think about.
Well, I mean, there's lots of mixed using down there, just cause.
Right.
You know, with his company.
Sure.
He hauls away, you know, our solids.
Right.
But we also allow him to put his brown water into the south tank.
Sure.
So, I mean, we have a contract for that and how much.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we look at those kind of things, so I mean,
Oh.
I think the town is taking more advantage of Penner than he is of us.
Oh, I'm not saying, no, I totally agree, that's why I was saying, maybe getting a dumpster for us, just for the town to keep out there. Do you guys have any town dumpsters, period, or?
Well, we have, behind the fire station and the town garage, there's a dumpster there.
Oh, okay.
And, when Ray's was in business, it was for the fire department and the town.
Gotcha.
But I think other people use it, but it don't take much to fill it up anymore.
Right, we got one at Monrovia, it's for the town, and the town
Yeah.
clerk treasurer will dump their trash and, you know, kinda used for all town use, basically.
Yeah.
Buildings and whatnot, so just something to think about, more or less, is what I was dealing with, but, does anybody have any questions for me, or?
I did have a question.
Sure.
So, switching from the gas chemical over to the liquid,
Yes.
you said that liquid's gonna be cost more, but do you get any more mileage out of the liquid than you do the gas?
About the same, and that's what the chemical engineer, she will go through all the numbers, once I get her how many, luckily George was really good, and he wrote every pound that was used, so I've got plenty of data to give her.
Okay.
As far as what the town has used over the past couple of years in, chemical, so she can convert that and figure all that out for us, and of course, we won't do this, this is just something I'm working on.
Yeah.
And before anything happens, I'll present it to you guys, and that's just how it is with everything, and let you guys make a final decision on it, but I just wanna give you options, you know.
Are you still gonna need the CBA if you're with,
If we switch to get, liquid chemical, no, there'd be no use for it at that point.
okay,
So that's why I wouldn't wanna rush right out and
Yeah.
buy one right now, if we can switch to that and it's gonna save us some money or cost the same and maybe get you a break on your insurance, that might not be a bad idea.
Any other questions?
And I do apologize about that report, and make sure you guys get that next month and have it going forward.
I can send you all, everyone's email address,
Okay.
if you
Yeah,
want.
that'd be great, yeah,
Okay.
I could just email it to everybody, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you
Well,
very much.
Not to everybody.
Oh.
No, no. No, no. You get yours.
Okay.
In the mail.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you have to post it at the post office or John.
Print it, stamp. There goes a stamp.
Oh, there's that stamp.
All right, go ahead, any other, business?
Somebody signed
I do, I did sign.
You signed in?
I
Okay,
did.
all right,
No,
well,
mine.
Step forward, give us your name and address for the record, and then, the floor is yours.
Okay, Megan Miller, 4810 Iowa Street, your next door neighbor. So, we're new here.
Yeah.
But I've lived in Hendricks County for like half of my life, so I'm not exactly new to the area. And my daughter, we've been driving back and forth from Plainfield for the last 2 years, waiting for the housing market to settle down, and it never really did. But I came in here a couple days ago and talked to Jenny and Judy and had some questions that I wanted answered. I'm still moving in, still renovating a little bit. But she said just to come on in here and ask you guys, so here I am. So I've got a couple things. Sorry. So as you probably know, this house here has an apartment above it. It has been rented out for several years. Currently it is not. But mainly because we aren't ready to have anybody up there. There's a lot of things that need to be done to our house before we open it up to someone else. My husband and I aren't sure exactly how we want to kind of go about that, and I had a question: is the town okay with us doing an Airbnb? We have young children, but we do want to be able to, benefit financially from our property. So I was going to ask if that is something that's possible here in this town. Obviously, we live in the house, so it wouldn't be something that we would want, people coming into the town partying or something like that. So that's my first question.
The Unified Development Ordinance would be the document that would cover that.
Okay.
And, of course, the group that's, the authority on that is town manager and our planning commission.
Okay.
So it would just be a matter of looking that stuff up. I bet Pete could probably look it up for you without too much trouble. I mean, I can't imagine that there's anything in there forbidding an Airbnb, but
Okay.
we can certainly research that and look and see.
We're not sure, as we
Yeah.
said, what we really want to do, but we wanted to make sure before we can make plans, we don't want to step on toes.
And just
here.
because it's not mentioned in there doesn't necessarily mean it can't happen. There's a process that our Board of Zoning Appeals and our Planning Commission goes through. If something needs to be amended, changed, added, I mean, we've done that before with other things. We've had, businesses that have wanted a bigger sign than what the UDO, allowed. So they
Right.
go through the process of filing an appeal. We want to get a variance. That's always a possibility as well, so.
Okay, so, and who should I follow back up with then, or that's something that?
Pete's the
Yeah, talk to you all the
town
time.
manager, so he's the guy that would, comb through the UDO for you and then
Okay.
come up with an answer. If it's not mentioned in there, he can recommend, what you need to do to follow up with the Board of Zoning Appeals or the Planning Commission and see if, does that need to be added? Can it just be accepted that since it doesn't mention it?
Yeah. Okay,
that
well, I'll
can-
get with him on that.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
and then, all right, so.
Another question perhaps is not something along the same lines. I'm a hairstylist and I currently, I'm self-employed. I rent a chair in Plainfield, but I do have, 2 small kids, and so I was considering, turning my converted garage into a salon. So that was another question that I had. when I came in here, if that is something that the town is okay with, and if I need to speak with Pete again, I would like to do that, but.
Yeah.
Okay, it's another Pete question.
Yeah.
Well, we do have a kind of an antiquated ordinance that has some kind of silly mentions about businesses that are allowed in residence and not.
Okay,
And I'm not too sure why they ever passed this, because I wasn't here when that happened. But, I mean, it forbids a CPA from running
Oh,
which
wow.
I can't fathom why they would have done that, because how
But
does a CPA?
It's not a residence, it's a garage, right?
that's right,
Yeah.
technically, it's a
Yeah.
garage, I don't even know if it's counted in the
That's
square.
right.
So it might be,
Huh?
you know, one of those,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
Are you talking about that separate garage back there?
Not the separate one,
the
there's a,
attached.
the attached one has been converted, and I was
Okay.
not only just considering it for myself, but perhaps adding a chair or two for a local girl that may wanna rent a chair, so I just definitely don't wanna do anything wrong, because you're my neighbor.
When you
well,
purchase,
technically, your house is not in the town business district. And
Oh, but
so
the post office says it is.
it's
Yeah.
not, the divide,
Can you tell them?
it literally
I can get mail delivery.
runs right down the side of the town hall. But that can change also. Again, Board of Zoning Appeals is able to make those adjustments if you have a reason for filing an appeal, saying, I wanna use my garage as a business.
Sure.
So you go through that process of, I mean, everything on the books was, you know,
Do
it was
what?
the first time for it to be there.
Oh, of
The
course.
apartment is
You just have to
upstairs.
go through the steps.
There's like
to
two
make
doors
those
on
things
it.
happen.
The apartment is
Right?
upstairs.
And if you have a good reason for it.
Hmm?
I always thought there were three.
No, there's only two. The whole upstairs is an apartment. Yes.
Bruce, that's
3
their job,
bedrooms
is to
upstairs.
make those
It's a
determinations.
nice apartment.
So get with Pete again.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then he can walk you through the steps of, you know, if you're wanting to turn that into a, you know, a
That live
business,
there?
at least partially.
Mike Christian used to live
Okay,
there.
I'll get with him on that.
Yeah.
But he
Final
moved, he
question is
lives
probably
out
the most
on,
important one that I have, I'm sorry. So I've lived here about 2.5 weeks. And of course I've driven my daughter back and forth in this area, and I never really thought much about how busy this road is. I have 3 children, my stepson is 11, my oldest daughter is 7, and then I have a 3-year-old daughter. We have a cat and a dog. And my cat loves to bolt. But I am honestly shocked how fast people drive through here. I'm shocked how fast people and how careless people are when they're in a school zone. I asked when I came in the other day if it's possible to get one of those signs that were flashing that are on the other side of town. Of course, she said, since this is 39, it's not something that the town can do. However, I have not seen anyone patrolling this area at all, and I know that they could probably make money for the town, I'm assuming. No?
No, they can't.
Well, either way,
Even
it
if
could
they
help
write
the
a
town.
ticket, the money doesn't stay in the town anymore.
Well, I hate to hear
They
that,
change
but
it.
I also, I hate to see all of the, I mean, very, very fast. And especially once the town is sort of quieted down, I've seen several teenagers speeding through, I would guess at least 50 to 60 miles an hour. And I mean, obviously, I know I live in town, I'm not in the middle of, you know, the wilderness here, but, and my kids know to stay away from the road, but, I guess my question is, why don't we have anyone, patrolling this area?
So that's a good question. We do have some patrolling. It's just all of our police officers are reserve officers, so it means they volunteer their time. And, so they come and do shifts when they can, which we are very grateful for them doing that.
Right.
But, it's, you know, one of those kinds of issues. Now, the sheriff's department helps us out a lot. Our, town marshal has given the sheriff's department access to the police station here, next door, so they can come in and, you know, get snacks and drinks and.
Right.
Go to the
you know,
bathroom.
It kind of helps attract them to Clayton, and, you know, we can certainly bring this up more, to the marshal and say, you know, these are some concerns. We do have some, radar speed limit signs that I'm in the process of, working with NDOT to let me put them back out.
Well, I think it's
They
so
have-
important, especially right here by the
Yes.
school, I just can't believe it.
We think it's important too, we spend
Yes,
money buying them,
yes.
and then the state said, you have to take those down. But we have a inspector with NDOT for our district, and I've talked to her on the phone. She's given me, some more steps that I can go through to get that to happen. It's just, all of these things take
I know, I
time.
do, yes,
I
for
have
sure.
a full-time job also, so it's not, like I
I
can
understand.
sit at my computer and do this, all day long, but.
Well, if there's anything we can do to help, I would
We're
be
gonna,
happy to.
we're gonna work on getting those signs back up, which we do think those helped for the 2 years they were up. We think people slowed down better. It's just a matter of, we have to play by the rules also, and even if I don't understand why those rules exist, the state said, you have to follow the rules. So at least I made a little
Better start-
progress.
you better start with about $1 million there.
Back in last week. Here's your process for getting these, back up. I'll work on that.
All right, well, I appreciate your time, thank you so much.
Okay.
Anybody got any other comments or questions?
I do.
You do? Okay.
Well, I might have given it to you. Thank you. The rainy day fund. It has to be done by the 30th, so I need to know how much you guys want me to transfer.
I say you do 50% of all of it.
Do the 89,000?
Yes.
87,000?
Yes.
Okay, need a motion.
I'll make a motion, we move it 15%.
Okay, got a first motion?
I'll second it.
Got a second motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
And I want to tell you that I am so embarrassed because I forgot to send the money out to Mill Creek Schools for their year-end shindig Lollapalooza.
I wondered why our name wasn't on the list last
They
night.
didn't mention us at the school.
Yeah.
board
That could be it.
Thanks.
It's all my fault, I'm just saying. So we will give them a little bit more when they get ready to start school in
Yeah.
August. How's that?
Okay.
A little kicker there. Kick-
Uh-huh.
I have a question.
I know, I have to take my Prevagen
Okay.
tonight.
All right, John's got the floor.
First you talked about the school on their sewer bill during the summer. Do we get the same
I
amount
just keep sending it.
that, okay.
They keep paying
Okay.
it.
And the second is,
Summer school.
Yeah,
Saturday is the town cleanup from 9 till 3, down there on the little cul-de-sac. Anybody wants to help, come down, we're welcome, but you can bring in whatever you got.
We did 9 to 3?
Yeah,
What did you-
I posted 10 to 3.
that's what you posted.
Yeah, I'll fix that.
And we'll have 4 dumpsters, one will be for metal and the other 3 will be for whatever, yeah.
And so far, it'll be the hottest day of the year.
mhm.
Yeah.
Except Sunday's gonna be hotter.
Yeah. And I can't do much lifting, so I'll supervise a lot.
Excellent. All right, Dave, did you have
Oh,
anything?
I do about the cameras down at the park. I
Here's another one.
Talked to Pete about it, but I got all the new cameras in, I got the recorders in. The old cameras weren't compatible with the new system. And then I think we should move the camera that faces just to let everybody know, the gazebo camera, we need to move to the shelter, take the Wi-Fi hotspot card out of the shelter, put it out of the shack or shed or whatever you want to call it, into the shelter, and then we can have everything online and accessible for review. We could get the police department also to be able to look at it when they need to. But I think we need to order, since some of the cameras aren't compatible, I think we need to order maybe 2 more cameras, if we can find, if it's in the budget somewhere. Not high-end ones, but just some to cover the north end of the shelter that we had facing back. So, but everything should be operational, and that way we don't have, also, so moving the hotspot card is gonna save us from doing extra networking and stuff and that's about it.
He's
That's
waiting
all I
for
got.
my head.
Okay, is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Graham, did you have anything else?
Just a reminder on that ordinance you passed for the fire department, the township also has to take action to approve.
Which they
that.
did.
They've done that.
Yeah, Mr. Butler sent me an email saying they passed their resolution.
Good deal.
accepting what we did, so.
Okay, good deal. And then, Pete had indicated on, Mr. Skirvin's property, I guess there were some trees that he thought were gonna need to be taken down and wanted a little extra money on that. And I wasn't sure if that was, if we verified that, if the trees did need to come down.
Which, and when he talked to me about it, I said, if the trees come down, then we can address it then. And, I mean, he wasn't happy with that answer, but there's no guarantee one way or another right now.
Okay.
We'll know when the, the surveyors draw the line and then they decide, here's where we gotta dig our ditch. But I don't think that even they can predict right now that, yes, we're gonna fell the trees or not. I mean, there's, from what they've told us, they don't know for sure one way or another.
So do we wanna have the agreement be contingent on the trees coming down, is what you're saying?
That would be my suggestion, yeah, just simply say, in the event that the trees come down, then we would pay this extra amount. Sound okay to everybody?
And I don't know if he'll be on, I haven't talked to him about it, I don't know if he'll be on board with agreeing at all, if that's the condition, I don't know.
Nothing else in here?
No, that's just for you
Just
to
the
look
top.
at and sign.
Just top, okay.
Yeah.
And then, Leanne, did you have anything? No. Okay. So last evening, Dave and I visited, the Mill Creek Schools School Board meeting, to talk to them about the redevelopment commission, that, the board approved us to move forward on. Just to give them a heads up that this was, a potential coming down the line. So they were very receptive, they had a lot of positive feedback, and liked, hearing from us, and said they would provide a liaison for the redevelopment commission. So,
It was a long meeting.
I have one more thing.
We picked their year-end meeting and we were last.
Okay.
And so we were there for an hour and a half. And they celebrated the girls' softball. Yeah, they were there too.
And don't forget, we got music in the park tomorrow night. Big music. Come down and enjoy that.
yes, that should be fun.
I don't know what they're serving, or food, usually pizza.
Barbecue
Barbecue.
Barbecue.
Beep, beep.
and Goldie's food truck,
Yeah.
down at the CJ, she will be there.
Good.
And the hometown boy will be playing.
The Belleville boy.
All right.
I didn't realize that until.
Permission
like,
to adjourn.
I said it, and then I, like, the dots
Yeah.
connected.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so meeting adjourned.